for listening to the Laugh or Cry podcast. This is your hostess with the mostest, Christy. And last podcast, we were talking about Rebel Wilson. She's got a new memoir coming out called Rebel Rising. Maybe I'm saying it backwards. Rebel Rising. And I want to elaborate. There was so much to the story than just a book release. Oh my God! There's intrigue. There's drama. There's conflict. Well, let's start with some of the conflict. So, her memoir, Rebel Rising, was released in America, I'm assuming, on Tuesday. Well, yesterday, it was supposed to be released in the UK, New Zealand, Australia, and it's been pulled from those three places for, quote, legal reasons. So it's an autobiography. It's set to be released, like I said, on Tuesday, and fans are nuts. So Amazon Australia has pulled it, saying we don't know when or if this item will be back on stock. It's listed as unavailable on booktopia.com with no date. Kiwi booksellers, Paper Plus and some others have pulled it. And it's what? People that pre-ordered have gotten their money back with no anything. Somebody said, we received an email last week to recall any stock on the shelf due to legal reasons. This is from Time Out Bookstore in Mount Eden. I don't know where that is. New Zealand, I'm assuming. However, we didn't have any or no pre-orders, so it didn't make a difference to us. Ouch. So, wow, New Zealand. I guess she's not big in New Zealand. Yeah, so nobody has any information. So, Rebel goes on Instagram to celebrate the memoir, hitting the shelves, and the post was just floored with comments from fans from Australia and New Zealand complaining about their pre-orders being canceled and not being able to find it anywhere. Nobody can get a copy anywhere. Even in the UK, people are struggling to get their hands on it. Many complain that it wasn't on British bookshelves either. So, and it goes back to her slamming Sacha Baron Cohen for allegedly harassing her during the filming of Grimsby in 2016. She claims that Sacha pressured her to film a nude scene and even asked her to put a finger up his butt, but she refused. Now, I will admit, finger up the butt would be kind of funny. Anyway, but I'm kind of weird like that. She said that she kind of adopted a no assholes policy when deciding to do films, and revealed that she cautioned other actors about working with him. Now, of course, Sacha totally denies any of these allegations. Of course he does. They always deny those allegations. But, let's be honest. He probably did do those things. Now, Sacha, he is saying, his spokesperson is saying, that the memoir is, quote, demonstrably false and directly contradicted by extensive, detailed evidence. Ooh, I'm curious what that evidence is, aren't you? Okay, so Rebel goes on to say, well, now that the asshole is trying to threaten me. He hired a crisis PR manager and lawyers. He's trying to stop press from coming out about my new book. So this is what was on Instagram last week. She goes on, but the book will come out and you will all know the truth. I love all this truth stuff coming out now. It's amazing. I love it. Oh my gosh. It's okay. So the actual statement from the spokesperson, we'll say it again. While we appreciate the importance of speaking out, these demonstrably false claims are directly contradicted by extensive, detailed evidence, including contemporaneous documents, film footage, and eyewitness accounts from those present during and after the production of The Brothers Grimsby. I never saw that movie, but I want to see it now. I want to see where the possible finger in the butt episode would be. What scene is that? I just need to know. But that's just one of many chapters. So let's see if there's more in here. So, Yeah, okay, she says, okay, the book itself obviously is not about this one guy. Like, that is one thing in one chapter. Well, good for her. So she was on the Kelly Clarkson show and said that. Amazing. So Kelly Clarkson says, so a lot of the focus, annoyingly so, has been on one chapter, chapter 23. For me, even as a songwriter, when I come up with an album, I'm always afraid that you're going to focus on one song, and it's the whole body of work. What is that like? How do you navigate that? And then Rebel says, I thought having a chance to write a memoir, I'm going to be totally open and honest about things that happened to me. And that chapter, chapter 23, in the book, if you get it, it's just about the biggest asshole I worked with in Hollywood. And so it's what happened to me, but the book itself obviously is not about this guy. This is one thing in one chapter. I think it's funny. I mean, I think she's just telling a funny story that happened. I don't think she's out to get him. Do I think he did that? Yeah. Have you ever seen a Borat movie? Have you ever seen Ali G? Yeah, I'm not above him being in whatever character he's in at the time of filming this to be that way. I don't doubt it at all. I do not doubt it at all. Yeah, the book, she says, it covers a lot of different areas like weight and losing weight, her relationship with food and sexuality, fertility issues, relationship with her father. It's about like so many other things. Well, I'm curious. I might even chance to buy it now that there's so much drama going on about it. It's crazy. So, Rebel has accused Sasha of making her feel humiliated and degraded as a person on that set, and says that he's been bullying and gaslighting her over the course of the memoir release. So I guess he's very upset that this is going to be coming out. He should have a movie coming out right now, or something coming out, because this has only given him press 2. I don't know, maybe it's just me trying to make lemonade from lemons, but if that's the worst thing she says about you, dude, you've done worse in front of the camera. So, take this as PR and run with it. Okay, so back to her dramatic weight loss. I'm assuming this was over the course of a few years. She talks about taking Ozempic. My God, that's everywhere. A friend of mine took it and said that it made her feel like she could just eat a very little bit and feel so full, like gross full. So I'm assuming that's how people are losing weight. It's meant to treat type 2 diabetes, which is a problem in the United States as far as other places in the world. But a lot of celebrities are using it to help them lose weight. And I don't know, I like food. Call me crazy. I like the taste of food. I make no qualms about it at all. Cheesecake is delicious. Bacon is awesome. I like butter, so sue me. I like some sodas. Yeah, sugar, whatever. But can these things kill me? Maybe. But are they delicious? Absolutely. Everybody likes ice cream every now and then, unless you're lactose intolerant. And even then, deep down, you wish you could have it. So Rebel Wilson, she's 44. Wow. Remember that age. It's going to come up in a second. So she said that she used the drug for maintenance. And she says it can be good. She goes, someone like me could have a bottomless appetite for sweets, so I think those drugs can be good. But she says she no longer uses it. She spoke out about 2020 being her year of health. So I guess that's when she started to lose weight, after a fertility doctor encouraged her to lose weight because it would be a better chance at in vitro. I didn't even know she was trying to have a baby. And I guess if you're 44, you're kind of, it gets a little dangerous when you're in your 40s and up to try to have a baby. Speaking of which, oh my God, Gwen Stefani, super mega preggers, and she's like 53. My God, I'm 51. If I found out I was pregnant today, 1, it would be immaculate conception. 2, I would be mortified. Having a baby is awful. I mean, yeah, they're a precious miracle. Yeah, I love mine, blah, blah, blah. But man, I remember the horrible morning sickness. I remember the rage I felt. I remember how hot I was, how huge I became, how bad being induced hurt so much. Okay, so I was supposed to have my daughter, I think it was like the end of May. She was a couple of weeks late, and they wanted to induce, and I'm like, well, she's not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. But, oh, yeah, that was freaking painful. And that epidural didn't do right, so I felt everything. Everything. I mean, I just remember how bad. My OBGYN was one of the instructors at the university. And so here I am, wide open for God and everybody to see, as he's slowly showing them how to sew me up. Because, did I mention that I ripped? They did an episiotomy where they cut you, but I still ripped wide open. Yay, kids are great. So, but yeah, good for you, Rebel, if you want to have one, and, Gwen, whatever, okay. So anyway, back to Rebel. So she talks about losing weight because she felt like she was being pigeonholed in her career, that all she was playing was the fat funny character. And let me tell you, if you don't want to play that, Rebel, I will be happy to play that. I mean, I was way too skinny before I got pregnant. Then after, I've made up for lost time. And again, I like food. I'm in the South. We have good food that has flavor. And, God love you, LA, some of your food lacking in flavor. From the South, we fry everything. Not that I eat all fried food, but man, you've not lived till you've had some of my lasagna or my turkey and dressing. I'm fat because I'm such a good cook. It's not my fault. So, she started eating a high-protein, low-sugar diet, taking long walks, and discussing her emotional eating with a doctor. And, of course, the Ozempic, too. She didn't hate herself in any way. She just disliked her relationship with food. Now, I get where you're coming from. Because I think once I got pregnant, I thought, I'm so skinny, I need to eat a lot of food to be able to keep the weight up for the baby. Because I was disgusting. I was 98 pounds before I got pregnant. And I ate whenever I wanted, but, yeah. So I've made up with lost time because I've developed anxiety and depression. And if depression doesn't make me not eat, it definitely makes me want everything. So it's one or the other. Like I said, cheesecake is amazing. So I don't know that I'm going to be doing the low sugar anytime soon. I mean, my family, we come from a family that eats, like I said, a lot of fried food. And they live into their 70s. So knock wood, as long as I go to the doctor. Because I do have relatives that have dropped dead of heart attacks, but they didn't go to a doctor. I go. So, back to Rebel. She goes, so people are like, well, how can you be so body positive and then be hating yourself? But I wasn't hating myself. I was only hating those shameful behaviors. For example, eating a whole tub of ice cream every night, then feeling bad about myself, making myself get up early in the morning and go to the gym for an hour and a half, and running on a treadmill until sometimes my back hurt. Yeah, I wouldn't do any of that. No. What you do is you just get you a small tub. And I don't know if I could eat ice cream every night, but I get it. It's delicious. Now, I have before eaten my emotions. Like back in the day, Luby's, Morrison's, Piccadilly. I love me a buffet style where you point to what you want, because that's, you see all the desserts and you see all the food and jalapeno cornbread. So yeah, I ate, but I swear, even at those buffets now, I feel like, well, buffets, you know what I mean, but the Chinese buffets too, when they've got the all you can eat crab legs. That's a challenge right there. Challenge accepted. I love crab. I mean, like the food kind, not the other. But, oh man, yeah, on a gym running for an hour and a half? No. No, you're not going to see me running unless somebody's chasing me. And even then, I better hope for a quick death if he catches me. But yeah, the running, I hear people talk about runner's highs, and I'm curious about that, but not enough to actually do it. And I get where some people they're so depressed that they eat a lot. I feel like I eat a lot because I'm bored or because it's delicious. I make no qualms about my weight. Do I love... I'm the biggest I've ever been. I don't love being this fat. I definitely look like I ate younger me. That's for sure. But I just like food, man. Is that so wrong? I like food. And people are like, well, maybe you're drinking your calories. Well, let me tell you. During COVID, that year and a half, I could count on one hand how many times I had an alcoholic beverage and still have fingers. And I didn't lose any weight. Again, I had no money, but I was eating my feelings. So sometimes we do. Sometimes we eat our feelings. Sometimes we just like Funyuns. Okay. She went from earning about $4,000 for her part in Bridesmaids, to $10 million for Pitch Perfect 3, just 6 years later. Oh my God. That's, again, I will be happy to play the fat role. Like, oh my God, just even the $4,000 for Bridesmaids. I'd be very happy with that. Okay, in her memoir, Rebel Rising, she broke down the behind-the-scenes pay negotiations she made for her breakthrough movie, Bridesmaids, and then in Pitch Perfect. She started her career in Australia, where she's from. She moved to the U.S. in 2010 just to kind of prove it to herself that she could make it in Hollywood. So soon after she arrived, she signed with William Morris Endeavor Talent Agency and booked her first role in Bridesmaids. Are you fucking kidding me? I am reading this as I'm saying it to you. Wow. I mean, can you imagine? You come, I'm sure she did stuff in Australia too, don't get me wrong. But she just walks in, and I read somewhere else that she auditioned 30 times before she got this. I'm like, 30 times is nothing. Sometimes people audition hundreds of times before they land anything. For her to only do 30 and land that role, and to get signed by a big agency. William Morris, creative artists, and I'm sure I'm leaving out a couple more, are huge. And she just waltzed in there and got signed. I need to know more of that story. So I may have to get that book for sure. So she told Jess Cagle show in 2021, she originally auditioned for the lead character Megan, but the director had created a new role for her after she lost out to Melissa McCarthy. Wow! So she was gonna be Megan. Wow. But I tell you, Melissa could do no wrong, in my mind. She could go right now and stab a baby and drink its blood, and I would be like, you're brilliant. I love Melissa McCarthy. Her husband, Ben Falcone, he was one of my instructors at the Groundlings. And I just can't wait to get back to LA. I can just taste it. But oh my God, I can't even imagine anyone else playing that role but Melissa. But I will tell you, Rebel owned that character, Bryn, playing the crazy roommate and getting the Mexican drinking worm tattoo. She's a riot. See that, I love them both. Both of them. Like, Melissa is so pretty. She's so cute. She looks like a bunny rabbit. She's got those sweet eyes and the long lashes. She looks like a bunny rabbit. You can't dislike a bunny rabbit. Rebel, I don't care if she's 225 pounds or she's 130. She's gorgeous regardless. Both women gorgeous. Now, I do understand for health wanting to lose weight. My doctor keeps bugging me about it, heart attacks and whatnot. That's genetic, though. Now, granted, eating bacon does not help. But again, ham is delicious. So she got, it says here 3,500. I read somewhere else 4,000. Regardless. Of course, you've got to give a fee. Okay, she got paid 3,500 for bridesmaids, a fee that I then had to pay directly to SAG to join the union. Yeah, so that's about 3,500 to get your SAG card. So, wow, why wouldn't you? If you, right out of the gate, right out of the gate, what, she's in LA a year, 2 years, and she snags that? God, let's go back to that year again. She came to the United States in 2010. We'll have to look up when Bridesmaids came out. Oh my God, right? So she had to turn around and basically take that money that she made and put it into SAG, but because she's SAG, she gets to audition for SAG jobs. That's Screen Actors Guild, if you don't know what that is. It's the union that all the actors are in, and it's fantastic. For a while, I'm SAG eligible. I could get a SAG card if I wanted, but one, like I said, it's $3,000. Now, after that, I think you only pay a few hundred a year. The insurance, phenomenal. I want to rejoin that, one, because I just want to be an actor, and two, the insurance. Oh my God. So she says, so really I got paid nothing, and that didn't matter to me. The experience was everything. Oh my God. Yeah. Being on that movie. Oh my gosh. She wrote that she was low on cash before Bridesmaids and was released because moving to Hollywood, before Bridesmaids was released because she was moving to Hollywood and Hollywood's expensive. But once the movie came out, it, quote, changed the trajectory of my whole career. Fucking yeah, it did. You were brilliant in that. You were so bloody funny. I mean, for a female-led comedy to have the commercial success it did and the critical, 2 Oscar nominations, it made $302 million in the box office. It was a huge hit. Huge hit. She goes on to say she was in 4 scenes, but that was enough to get her noticed. Like really great notice, like breakthrough noticed. So she wrote that the success of Bridesmaids helped her book 6 more movies in the 2 weeks after its premiere. Bam! 6 movies right out of the gate. Okay. So, Pitch Perfect. She says it's her most popular movie that she starred in. She's appeared in 5 others in 2012. Bachelorette, What to Expect When You're Expecting, Struck by Lightning, Small Apartments, and Ice Age Continental Drift. How cute is that? She was in animation, I think would be so much fun. Alright, I had to look it up. So, Bridesmaids came out in 2011. Remember when I said she got here to the States in 2010 and like boom, pretty much immediately got signed. So, wow, she made it even quick. I was giving her 2 years probably before she got here, but boom. Okay, so let's pull up Wikipedia. I know it's never 100% correct, but just to look at some background. So, she's from Australia, like I said. Her parents were dog handlers. They bred beagles. Isn't that cute? She was even a little junior dog handler when she was 8. She, let me see, going down, she completed her high school certificate in 1997, ranking 99.3 in her class. Yay! So she's a smart little cookie there. And she joined the debating team, and her teacher encouraged her, blah, blah, blah. 3 siblings, blah, blah, blah. Very academic, good numbers. Former Rotary International Youth Ambassador. Not sure what that is. Ooh, she's contracted malaria when she was in South Africa for a year. That sounds terrible. Alright, so she studied at the Australian Theatre for Young People. In 2003, she moved to New York after winning the ATYP International Scholarship, which was funded by Nicole Kidman. So while in New York, This is 2003, while in New York, she trained with the Second City. She appeared with the Sydney Theatre Company and performed at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. She first came to the public's attention in 2002 with her stage musical, The Westies Monologues, which she wrote, starred in and produced in Sydney. Her follow-up stage productions, which she wrote, produced, and starred in, include Spunks and Confessions of an Exchange Student. Okay, so she had a little theater background, and in Australia, she was most known for her roles as Tula in the SBS comedy series Pizza, and other various characters, including Lucy, Fat Mandy, and Carla Bangs on the sketch comedy series The Wedge. She played an Australian Idol mad schoolgirl in the series of Telstra advertisements shown in Australian Idol from 2004 to 2005. She had roles in the feature film Fat Pizza in 2003 and Ghost Rider in 2007. 2008, she created, wrote, produced, and starred in the musical comedies Bogan Pride on SBS 1, and also starred in the improvisational 9 network series Monster House. 2009, she won the Tropfest Best Actress Award for her role in the film Bargain. She made appearances on the improvisational comedy show Thank God You're Here and the comedy game show Talking About Your Generation. She performed stand-up on the television special The Breast Darn Show in Town and guest starred in the 7 network drama City Homicide and performed improv at the Upright Citizens Brigade in Los Angeles. Alright, so small role in Ghost Rider. Then she moves to the United States, January 2010, and signs with William Morris Endeavor. Okay, so she had a good little, resume going in. So she didn't just get off the bus like in Bowfinger, like, where do I go to get famous? So she's got some awards and things behind her. So good. All right, good. And training. And that, again, boom, Bryn and Bridesmaids. It was written especially for her. That's awesome. And yeah, she's been in a bajillion things, I'm sure. My gosh, she has, not a lot. She's got about 41 actress credits, but they are amazing actress credits, so bully for her. Okay, in 2017, court document involving Pitch Perfect star, that Wilson earned a total of $152,000 upfront for those 6 movies, and she received a bonus of $230,000 over the 3 years after the films came out. Yay, that's awesome. Good for her. And of course now, billions of dollars. She says, I knew I wouldn't be taken seriously like Kate Blanchett or Nicole Kidman, but I quickly realized that the bigger you were, the more audiences laughed. It was a really conscious decision to look ugly. It was part of my plan. Damn, I've had that plan for years. It's got me nowhere. Oh my God, but she's pretty. You can be fat and be pretty. It's fine. But when you're fat and average looking, at least I think I'm average looking. I don't know. I'm kind of weird looking, but that's all right. But weird can be good too. So she thought that was in her advantage. So I'm like, well, all right. Again, if she wants to be skinny now, I would gladly take the fat kid roles all day long. It's fine with me. Gosh. She wrote that she auditioned for Pitch Perfect after the screenwriter Kay Cannon reached out via Facebook and told her that she'd be perfect for Fat Amy, the main character's eccentric best friend. And, she goes on to say, she was right, I was insanely perfect. I wasn't offended by the character's name at all. Fat Amy. We all have people that we give nicknames to. Like, I know several Johns. But there's one that is specifically Crazy John. And when I tell my friends Crazy John, they know the John I'm talking about. So the producers initially planned to cut the older actors, including her, and replace them with a younger cast. But they didn't, so thank God. Yay! Since the studio didn't think they needed us and deemed us too old, they never signed up any of us for for a third picture deal like they did with some of the newer cast members. When Pitch 2 became the highest grossing musical film of all time, we totally had leverage. Well, good for you. I mean, come on. 30-year-olds are playing teenagers all the time. It's fine. Okay, she says, the day I signed that $10 million deal, I thought all of my hard work that I'd put in my career every day since I got out of the hospital after I recovered from malaria. That's what she got when she was living in South Africa. Although the fame had come at 32, and now at 37, I had the full financial reward. Oh my God. I really wish I love my daughter. I really wish I had my shit together. Oh well. So again, she went from parents raising beagles. It's amazing. So she weighed, I guess at the time of those movies, 225 pounds. So I guess she was trying to have a baby. I don't know who with, or just on her own, but it was harder to retrieve viable eggs. So the doctor basically suggested that she needed to lose weight. So she planned on getting healthier, but her agent, not thrilled about it. She said the agent liked me fat because they got hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission for each film where I played the funny fat girl. Losing weight, she worried, would jeopardize all that multi-million-dollar pigeonhole she was in. I would love to be in a pigeonhole. You know that? I would love it. I would love it. So the book, like I said, released Tuesday, talks about her struggles with food addiction, about the intimate episodes of her life, being raised in Sydney, Australia, eldest of 4. Like I said, her family had the pet product business and bred show beagles. Who even know beagles could be show? But good for them. She was rejected 5 times from Australia's National Institute for Dramatic Arts and auditioned for nearly 30 screen roles in Hollywood before she was cast in the 2011 Bridesmaids. So she was in town maybe a year. Not even that long, because, you take if it was released in 2011, it was probably finished in 2010, maybe beginning of 2011. Man, good for her. She had her shit together, so yay. And then comes the Sacha Baron Cohen. So she says that in that movie, The Brothers Grimsby, that he wanted her to do a nude scene. And then in one, sex scene, to stick a finger up his rear end, but she refused to do so. It was supposed to have a body double and all that, too. It's funny. That might be funny. It's awful, but it would be funny, too. I'd probably stick my finger up his butt, but that's all right. So she goes on in the book, she talks about Sasha in that one chapter, but she goes on to say that she lost her virginity at 35. She's only 44 now. 35. Had her first orgasm, in parentheses, alone, at 39. Oh, that means she probably didn't get it with a dude. Yeah, I feel you, man. Men sometimes do not know what they're doing down there. I myself, if you listen to the last episode, I got my first orgasm at 6. It was accidental. I don't know, something fell. I rubbed up against my hoo-ha. It felt good. I rubbed it some more. It was fantastic. And I masturbated like a fiend when I was a kid. But I didn't know that it was sexual. I just knew it felt good and I liked it. Oh my gosh. She details her secret romantic relationship with a female tennis player. So, wow. So she's had both sides of the fence, I guess. Her experience of meeting and falling in love with her fiancé, the fashion entrepreneur Ramona Agruma, and having a baby with a surrogate. Well, I did not know she was a lesbian. Good for her. I had no idea, because I swear I thought I saw a picture of her with a dude somewhere. Maybe she's bi. I've never really looked into it, but get it where you can, girl. I totally get it. So a baby with a surrogate, hence the going to the doctor and needing to lose weight. All right, cool. Now we're up to date. She spoke about how her weight loss affected her career and her public image. And I gotta tell you, I mean, she was beautiful big. She's beautiful now. But I'm telling you, all skinny blonde girls look the same to me. It's hard for me to identify her now because she looks so much like all the others. Not to say she should have stayed bigger, but, you know, it was definitely, I think, more marketable. But I mean, I'm sure she'll do fine. I'm not worried about her, but I would like to pick up that slack, though. I'll tell you a lot. So she had a real fear of losing weight and it affecting her career. And I was afraid for her too. But again, you know, you got to think about your health. So one of her vices was, you know, having a sweet tooth. And just, wow. She was most anxious about going public with losing her virginity. It was something that absolutely nobody knew. And she was like, should I put that into the book? And she did. It was, she grew up very Christian background and not really wanting a relationship and wanted to focus on her career. So I guess that wasn't a big to do. Okay. You didn't even tell Mickey Gooch Jr., your former boyfriend, that he was your first. Okay, good. She is bi, then I was correct. He was the first person to read it, so he knows now. Well, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. So now she had a romantic relationship with the female tennis player, but I guess did not disclose who it is, and now is engaged to the fashion person, Ramona. I don't know crap about fashion. She may be huge. I have no idea. But good for you. And then, goes on to this article. It's from the New York Times. Literally made me read it. I'm so glad. He goes, what was your response to Sasha's denial? Rebel says, just knowing his character, I obviously expected that. I knew he wasn't going to take it, proverbially, quote, lying down. This is not about canceling someone. It's part of my story. It's my memoir. And I'm allowed to write about what happened to me and how it made me feel. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's trying to be canceled at all. I mean, we've seen him in his movies. We're not really shocked about that at all. But man, to go from making $3,500, $4,000 in Bridesmaids to making $10 million in Pitch Perfect 3. Wow. And then keep in mind, percentages of that go to the agents and managers and all that. Yeah, oh my God. She goes, you know that it's a lovely offer of $9 million, but I need one more to make it 10. Well, good for her. Man, that's good. You know, sometimes you gotta shake them down a little bit, because guys really have no problem demanding. So women, I don't think there's anything wrong with us getting our fair shake too. So, and then I will finish this up because this is getting long. The author asks, so you write about strange experience that inspired you to seriously pursue acting when you were living in South Africa and got malaria and had a vision. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, I definitely want to hear what she says here. She goes on to say, it was a full-blown hallucination that I was an actress and I had won an Academy Award. It changed the whole trajectory of my life. When some people would say, how are you going to keep going? Or you always seem to have this self-belief. I would go, because I saw it happen. I clung to that despite the constant rejections and how hard it was starting in the theater and performing when there might be 10 people in the crowd. I'll totally get you there, girl. But I saw it and I was going to be successful. And coming to America, I mean, the odds of making it in the entertainment business, first in my own country and then in Hollywood, I think the odds are better that if I were a guy, I could make it to the NFL. It's millions and millions to one. But I thought I was the one. There are plenty of Australian actors who are way better than me and haven't made it over there. So she goes, so the author's like, well, maybe because they didn't get malaria. Rebel says they didn't have the malaria vision. And, that's very interesting because you hear people all the time, you see it, you believe it, fake it till you make it. And there's some truth to that. If you want something bad enough, if you can envision yourself doing something, you're that much easier to make it happen. And I think this is inspiring, and I think I'm going to go out and buy that damn book. Once I get a little bit of money, because right now I'm living in my car. But inspiration. So hopefully this will be a great story one day of how I'm a loser. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Click on the like if you're watching this on YouTube. If you want to send me money, that would be great too. There are going to be links for you to do that. Well, thank you so much, and come back and listen again.